This idea that we've got to do aggressive digital advertising, throwing copious amounts of money at something and just hoping that something works. Oh, we've got to do TikTok ads now. Let's just do TikTok ads. Disruption ads, which again, everything we're saying there's a time and place for, but we do them strategically with other stuff in mind.
There's so many risks when you just put all of your efforts and all of your budget into one channel or just advertising and you're not focusing on like a holistic strategy. Like if we just talk paid media, right? We just talk like meta ads, for example. Like there's so much that could go wrong if you funnel. 3 old school mindsets about marketing you need to shift now.
Welcome to the Marketing Mentors podcast, brought to you by Red Pandas Digital. I'm joined by the, of course, amazing, lovely Linda, and I'm Tasha. And for those of you watching us, obviously if you're listening, you wouldn't see us, but if you're watching, we're in a new location, which is, really
welcome,
exciting.
guys.
Yeah, welcome to our new office. It's been an exciting last couple of weeks getting set up in our new space. I know we're still working on some stuff, but
this office will start to change. I think throughout the next few episodes, you guys will start to see a few different backdrops, but we made it to the new office.
Yeah,
it's cool to be here.
Very exciting. And the acoustics are different. The lighting's different. So bear with us as we're getting our bearings, recording this in a new space. But it's exciting. And I want to talk about what you just said.
Yeah.
Because you, again, just dropped some nuggets there. So say that again, Linda, slowly.
Okay. So we're talking about old school mindsets about marketing that still exist to this day. We see it exist. Yeah. Whether it is an old school marketer or it's a CEO or a general manager, someone in leadership that still has a really historical kind of dinosaur way of looking at marketing.
Yeah, definitely might ruffle some feathers here and we're not sorry about it. But yeah, you're right. I've definitely come across probably in the last few years people that have, a little bit of an old school mentality around like traditional marketing tactics and like the key word there is tactics, right?
Yeah.
That, these have always worked and we've got to do it this way. And it's like,
or people that are just kind of looking for short-term wins and not thinking about the holistic overall marketing strategy. Yeah. And that's what it tends to come down to.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. So we've got 3 we want to share. The first old mindset, this is a good one. Find a growth hack to boost our growth now. That word hack.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like quick short-term wins.
Exactly.
So we're talking things like, maybe it's a quiz. Maybe it is like if you're in the fitness industry, maybe it's like an app. Yeah.
Every fitness person I know, I've got an app. Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they go straight for that.
Yeah, that is true. I think another way of looking at it, if you can't understand what Linda just said, which is very clear, but a trending tool or a tactic or like a shiny new object. I think we've talked about this in maybe one of our second last episode. Was like anything that kind of is like, oh, give me a growth hack. I need something that's going to get me to get really fast growth overnight. Like it's just, look, it happens. Yes, sometimes we see it. And, we've had a few TikToks that have just gone, crazy overnight, but we didn't hack anything.
Yeah.
There's just, sometimes it's luck of the draw, but most of the time things are strategically planned out and executed.
I think there's a time and place for these things as well. There's a time and place for calculators and self-help tools and quizzes and things like that. But I think the important thing here is not using that as a silver bullet for your overarching strategy to try and generate leads or get better conversions, whatever it is. It needs to be a considered tool that's added to your marketing toolkit, if you will, based on the data that you're seeing. If you have a website and you're not converting your traffic to leads very well, then sure, maybe something that can help people convert is better. But making sure that you're looking at your analytics and considering why are we doing this tool and making sure that it's not going to just be a silver bullet is the thing here that we see as a shift that needs to change.
Yeah, so much. So looking at the new mindset, so from find a growth hack to boost our growth now, the new way of looking at this is finding a sustainable strategy that will enable gradual and steady growth. This just makes so much sense, right?
Yeah.
It's just like anything.
Do the basics well.
And do the reps.
Yeah.
Just get the work in. Do it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
You said something really cool before I wrote down. Focus on the foundation. Service your existing clients really well. Do what you can do really well.
Yeah.
Like stop stuffing around with the shiny new toys.
Yeah, just focus on the people that you currently have. Like you have existing, potentially, hopefully, you have existing members, customers, whatever it is. focus on those people first, service them really, really well.
Yeah.
So they want to become so they want to become
100%.
evangelists and brand advocates.
And it makes a lot of sense. Like even as I reflect on how, Moby and I and yourself, Linda, because you've been around almost as long as I have, we've grown the business. It was just the three of us for quite a while. Post-COVID, we boomed. But like if I think about what we did and what we did really well in that time, we serviced our existing clients really well.
Yeah.
And we didn't cut corners on the way we do our service and our delivery.
Yeah.
And I truly think that's a big reason why we've grown the way we've grown is because we've not cut corners on servicing our clients. And we haven't.
Referrals have been very big for us.
And trust me, getting caught up on shiny new object syndrome is a real thing in digital
and hard
marketing.
for marketers.
We're in digital marketing. And like oh my God, TikTok. Do you remember when TikTok came out and Moby lost his shit on it? And he did what he did. He built the following. I feel like as marketers, we do need to give in to some of the shiny object syndrome sometimes because our clients come to us seeking advice and like console on like, what should I do about TikTok? Everyone's on TikTok, How many times have you been asked, should we be doing threads?
Yeah. Let's just get an ad up on TikTok. Yeah, but it's like, wait, like what are we trying to do right now?
Exactly.
We can do it, but it needs to be considered.
That's it. Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not going to do well or it's going to run out of steam real quick and then we're going to have an even shitter conversation.
Yeah, 100%. So I guess like the point I'm trying to make is service your existing clients really well.
Yeah.
The new tools, the new strategies, the new techniques that come up. Like, I'm not saying don't look at them, don't investigate. By all means, learn. Like, be a sponge, learn that shit up. But don't think that it's going to be, like Linda said, the silver bullet that's going to solve all your problems and get your growth and your lead generation happening overnight.
Yeah.
Just doesn't.
I think the flip side of that is just, on the basis of like looking at your foundations is just do things like your basics well and consistently before you start moving to trying new things, or just make sure that you're doing them to start with.
Yeah.
For us at Red Pandas, it's producing 3 articles per week. It's producing 2 podcasts a fortnight, amongst all the other things that we're now doing at a baseline. Before we start to go out and do all these new things. Like right now we're developing a scorecard for our website that allows people to go onto the website, score themselves from a marketing and sales point of view, and it's a quiz.
Yeah.
But we are only now developing something like that because we have those foundations set.
Yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah.
And I think don't get caught up on those numbers that Linda said. The 3 articles a week, the 4 podcasts a month. That's a team of almost 20 full-timers, working together. So it's definitely not a number that I would tell a business as they're just starting up, or if they're much smaller than that. Those aren't numbers you have to achieve. I think the 3 articles a week is probably the highest priority if you can get to that. But yeah, you're spot on, Linda. Consistency is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that.
All right.
Okay, old mindset number 2.
All right. So I'll read it out. It is to grow through aggressive digital advertising.
Oh. Every time I read that, I think of have you watched is it Mad Men? The marketing
I have
show?
Watched it.
Yeah, with
but
what's
like
his face?
a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what reminds me of like
with
old
Mel
school.
Gibson.
No, I don't think it's Mel Gibson.
Oh,
it's another good-looking man. But anyway, it's like it's like just aggressive old school marketing techniques that are like they do the subconscious thing like you need to drink Coke now, and then she like whips out the can of Coke and has a drink. Like,
yeah, okay.
It's that shit.
I'm cringy.
But, yeah, I know, so cringy. But yeah, so this idea that we've got to do aggressive digital advertising. This is like throwing copious amounts of money at something and just hoping that something works. Like, we'll go do TikTok ads now. Let's just do TikTok ads.
Yeah.
Disruption ads, which again, everything we're saying, there's a time and place for.
Yeah.
Because we do disruption ads, but we do them strategically with other stuff in mind, right?
Yeah.
I think really tactical. This is really tactical. It's like, let's just go out there and see what shit sticks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I worry about this one a lot because like there's so many risks when you just put all of your efforts and all of your budget into one channel or just advertising and you're not focusing on like a holistic strategy. Like if we just talk paid media, right? We just talk like meta ads, for example. Like there's so much that could go wrong if you funnel all of your efforts into generating leads on one channel. There's competition, right? Like costs change. If the platform goes down, like you lose your leads. Like you're so reliant on just one channel, it's really, really risky. You know, for Google, algorithm changes. Like there are so many different factors here.
Yeah.
And it's risky as a business to be focusing on that. And I understand how some businesses can get caught in that because they might need quick wins. And I can see how businesses fall into that trap.
Yeah.
They need a quick win. They put all their efforts into paid advertising. They generate leads, but then we don't look at the longer term issue, which is what are the quality of those leads? You know, you're targeting people, let's say on Meta, right? Like you're targeting people that are on Facebook. It's disruptive advertising. Like you said, you're not building a relationship with them. So, well, what's the problem with that? The problem with that is you're not working on an entire relationship, customer journey with your people. You're not building trust. So they're going to be going with you based on vanity metrics. Like, are you cheaper? Are you more convenient? And that is a bad route to go down.
I think it's a bad route when you don't have, like Linda said, that brand, that trust, that what's the word I'm looking for? That
relationship and that trust.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like if you're Pepsi, if you're Coke, if you're, Nike, if you're Tesla, like Apple, they can do these aggressive ads that we see because of who they are, right? They're those brands. They've built that brand authority, if you will, the word I'm looking for. There is a time and place for aggressive ads, I think, for smaller brands. But again, it's coming back to a strategy. It's coming back to a more holistic view, like Linda was saying, around, okay, maybe they've been to our website. They've downloaded a piece of content. They've maybe had a sales call with us. Maybe they've been to an event. Maybe they've been to a webinar. Like there's already some type of rapport being built with this prospect and our brand.
Yeah.
And then when we feel like that they're at a point where, okay, we can probably go a little bit more aggressive now, you could possibly use it. But like this is up in the air, you know what I mean? Everyone's brand is different. Everyone's story is different. So you got to take it with a huge grain of salt.
I think that's so important. Like that point you mentioned, you've got people that are in different levels of awareness when they're shopping. And when you have just a focus on like your digital advertising and your disruptive ads, then you're just hitting the low hanging fruit. But then you're almost limited when it comes to leads because you're not actually nurturing all these people that are going through this awareness journey of trying to figure out, okay, I have a problem. Who are my options?
You
like,
just
what
wake
am I
up
trying
one
to
day
figure
and
out?
realize you need a sales coach.
Exactly. And so you're losing all those people where you could be building a relationship and building trust with those people.
Yeah.
One day those people are going to hit the point where they do need a service and they're just seeing your ads. They're not seeing anything more from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to inject this somehow. I don't know how. But like I went to Tony Robbins a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
As you know, because I've told you 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Now everyone that's listening knows. And I don't know, I feel like obviously Tony Robbins has his brand. Like he's done this incredible job at building this brand. Most people know if you don't know who Tony Robbins is, please go Google.
You live under a rock.
Yeah. The amount of people that I've asked though in the last couple of weeks if they know who he is and they're like, no.
Really? Who asking though?
Sounds familiar. You know what? Under 25
Your
year olds.
80-year-old neighbor.
My 80-year-olds probably know Tony Robbins. It's these under 20-year-olds, I feel like not a lot of them.
Really?
I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
It's a strange world we live in.
Yeah.
Anyway, trying to bring it back to the point of his brand. So he's done this incredible job at building the Tony Robbins brand. So he sells out like 9,000 people rooms, arenas of people that know Tony Robbins, believe in Tony Robbins, want Tony Robbins. But then this other guy that works with him, I don't even know his name. I can't remember his name for the life of me. There was two other guys working with him that were great speakers and great like believers, if you will.
Yeah.
But I can't remember their names.
Right.
All I know is that they spoke at the Tony. There was 3.
Were they good or?
Yeah, they were okay. They weren't Tony Robbins, right? So it's like this, I guess I don't know what the point is that I'm trying to make, but there's something in there with branding, with building your story. And I feel like that's where we're going into now, which is, so old mindset, grow through aggressive digital advertising. Mm-hmm. Some might argue Tony Robbins' advertising is quite aggressive.
That's very true, actually, it is.
And then the new mindset, grow through building a resilient, memorable brand.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say he's got
Yeah,
he's a very memorable brand. And then like the upsells at this event, oh my goodness, maybe that could be a podcast episode. It's just like
really
how to maximize.
I would love that.
Yeah,
it was
I know.
crazy.
I would
love to hear that.
Well, we have our event coming up next month, finally.
Yeah. Long time coming.
Yeah, I know. Hey.
Yeah.
And we can definitely share. Maybe we can do like a wrap up and
totally.
upsells on that one or something.
Yeah.
But with that said, new mindset, grow through building a resilient, memorable brand. This is kind of what you were talking about before, Build a really nice brand story. Maybe have a brand ambassador or a brand manager.
Mm-hmm. We love our brand managers.
We sure do. And that idea of like build awareness of your brand, who you are. Don't talk. It's interesting. You got to balance it with like talking about ourselves and not being salesy, right?
Yeah.
It's just like we're on this mission. This is what we do. This is who we're talking to. I wrote a bunch of things around like build brand loyalty. And those are things of like, ambassador programs, advocacy programs, promoter programs, referral programs, like whatever it might be, where you are looking after, I think it's coming back to looking after your existing clients.
Yeah.
Making them feel valued, loved, cherished, whilst you're building this brand that you have, and then the people within your business's brand.
Yeah. There's different ways that you can build your brand. Like we're talking marketing, right? There are so many different ways and channels, like formats that you can build a brand. For us at Red Pandas, we really focus heavily on content to help us build our brand. So you said earlier, like we produce a lot of content every single week. For us, it's articles and videos. We do a lot of that to build our brand. So that way, when we say building our brand, we're providing helpful and educational content. So that way, people that are our ideal clients can search the way every buyer searches, which is online on search engines. They can search their problems, concerns, worries, fears, and we are providing helpful, unbiased resources that help them in their journey.
Yeah.
And we do it in a way where we don't ask for the sell straight away. We are trying to be an authority in our industry that is just providing really helpful education. And for us, that's us building our brand. And that way, when that person who read a HubSpot article on what is Sales Hub 3 years ago now is interested in HubSpot, they're going to start to think about us because we help them in their journey. So that's one way to build a brand. For us, it's content. Of course, though, there are so many different ways that you can build a brand.
Yeah, so many different ways. And I know we had an episode on like building a personal brand.
Yeah.
I think like our personal brands come into the business brand as well, so much so. And like even just this podcast is doing its content, like you said, and there's us sharing it on our socials and with our clients and our friends and stuff. And that is all working on building this brand, this story, this mission, the goal of when customers come to us, they're like, oh, I already know you. I already trust you. I love you. I want to work with you.
No one said that to me yet. I'm kind of glad though.
Yeah, I know, it's a bit weird.
Let's keep it professional.
Look, love's all around, mate. Like you can love your clients.
Anyway, let's move on.
Moving right on to old mindset number 3. I love this one. I think it's funny. Let the customer success team handle existing clients.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so traditionally, and you still see this in a lot of companies, funnily enough, won't name any, but someone becomes a customer and then they're like, okay, not my problem anymore, bye. And then they just send them off to
handover's done.
Customer success. Yeah. They're like, bye, Felicia, like literally never want to talk to them again.
Yeah.
And it's
see this a lot with RTOs, just saying. Yeah.
Software as a service, RTOs, like a lot of businesses do it. And the bigger you get, I think the easier it becomes. You're just like, oh, you're not a prospect anymore. Okay, off to
because it works internally. It makes sense internally.
Logically.
You're thinking about your business and the processes, and so you have these siloed departments.
Yes.
So you're thinking for the business, but you're not thinking for the customer.
You're not thinking for the customer. And that person is going to be the one to give you, as we've just said now, they're going to be the one that you're going to have that referral program for, and they're going to be the one that you're going to be upselling to. So you need to look after them because they're the ones that are going to bring you more business.
Yeah.
So what's the solution? Honestly, I don't know. Like what, you just give one client, a dedicated person, the whole lifetime that they're with you? I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. And nor is it like scalable. Let's be real. But in this instance, a new way of looking at this would be build a marketing funnel, quote unquote marketing funnel. So a list, if you tactically what that looks like, it's a list in your CRM or your database of your clients or customers, and turn them, have a campaign, have a strategy, have an execution to turn them into brand advocates.
Yeah.
So whatever that might be, it's an exclusive customer only newsletter, for example.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an exclusive, client only event. Something like that is going to make your customers feel special, that they are your customers. Mm-hmm. And this is not a special sale or promo. I'm not talking about sales or promos here. I'm talking about marketing, content, like exactly what Linda's talking about. Lead nurturing, but it's more like customer nurturing.
Yeah.
So if anyone's ever seen any of our customer journey maps that we build, It's all the way at the end, kind of slightly down the bottom in green.
Yeah.
That's the service side. Like, what do we do with our existing customers from an automation point of view, like check-ins? Do we do check-ins with them? Do we ask for reviews? Do we try and upsell them at different times? But more importantly, how do we keep educating them and nurturing them so they continue to know, love, and trust us?
Yeah.
Obviously, working with an account manager or a client success manager is one thing, but often, and I see this a lot in the work that I do, I'll do this onboarding period, and I do have to do a handoff. So the customer has now had a salesperson talk to them. They've then had an onboarding person talk to them, and then they'll get a service, a service success person talk to them.
Yeah.
For the most part, it works fairly well, and we have processes that take them through, but you just can't guarantee the quality of service across those 3 different people.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the silver bullet solution is. I really don't. But if we having a stream of content dedicated to your clients, to keep building that trust and educating, I think is one way that you can help turn them eventually into a brand advocate or a referrer.
It seems like as you were talking to, I found 2 key themes here. Number one, it's looking at the transition between departments. Yeah. So making sure that is really smooth so people don't fall through the cracks and they have a bad experience. Like the RTO example that I mentioned earlier, I see it with RTOs is because you'll have the sales team take them through the sales process. They'll get the sale, hand it over to admin to process the invoice and get them enrolled, but there's a breakdown between them. And it's I've hit my quota, so they're your problem now, and they don't follow through. And, if the admin team misses it, processing it, then the student ends up having a really bad experience because sales have wiped their hands because their commissions end with just passing it to the invoicing team. So, right? So the transition between departments, as you were talking, I found really important. And then just cross-department communication, like you said, marketing, working on existing customers, not just focusing on new customer acquisition.
It's so funny because people always go, oh, marketing cost center, rah, 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 rah. It's marketing is the heart of the business.
They are everywhere.
I'm just putting it out there. They should be. Marketing bring you in new leads. They bring you in new team members. Marketing can be responsible for content to close deals. Marketing can be responsible for content to bring you in new A players. Yeah. Marketing can help with upselling your existing customers.
Recruitment.
Oh my God, so much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, that
Old
was
school
good.
Marketing mindsets. Yeah. We had a couple more, but I think we'll keep it at 3. That's nice and tight.
Yeah.
But if you've got some old school marketing mindsets, as you're listening to this, you're like, oh, they should have talked about this one, or this one really grinds my gears. If you're a Family Guy viewer, feel free to hit us up. Let us know. We'd love to talk more about these old school mindsets, and maybe you disagree with something that we say.
True.
Definitely hit us up for that one. I'd love to hear some of that. But otherwise, Linda, always a pleasure.
Likewise, T. We'll talk soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.